I've been watching your journey, I guess, for about a year now of helping monarch butterflies. And I think it's just, it started from, I know, just like a little bit of an idea for you and turned into something much more. And it's been neat to watch and see. And I've felt inspired to want to do it myself because it's such a tactical thing to do. So
Right.
I'm excited that you're willing to come on today and talk about it.
I know, you're so welcome. I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am not a butterfly expert. I'm just talking from my experience.
Yes. Fair. Good to share.
Yeah.
So, I wonder what you do know about, so I read that 90% of the monarch population in the US at least, has disappeared over just the past few years, and that they could literally go extinct in the next 20 years. Do you know from what you've learned why that's happening, why monarchs have become a worry?
Yeah, I had heard that too. And it is a worry because, pollinators, they are pollinators, just like the bees, and the bees are disappearing. And it's really going to have a big impact on our food supply if that keeps happening. And a lot of the issues with butterflies are, the habitats are disappearing. Park services, although they mean well, they cut the grass like along the highways, open fields. They're cutting down the milkweed, which is the only plant that monarchs lay their eggs on. That's a big problem. The logging industry, as you know, they migrate to Mexico, especially. There's a big problem. They migrate towards these specific, really ancient trees in this one area of Mexico. And the logging industry is just taking down all the trees. So habitats are disappearing quickly, where they lay their eggs, where they feed. It takes a tremendous amount of energy for the butterflies to fly down to Mexico and to fly up from Mexico. So they need a lot of flowers that they love to eat along the way. So, there's so many things, pesticides, so less are being born, along with their natural predators. It was really funny, and I was going to talk about this, as I start to see the little caterpillars appear. They were there one day, and I was all excited about it, and I went out to check on them, see if they were getting bigger, and the first little group of caterpillars were all gone. And I'm like, well, where did they go? But I did see a lot of wasps hanging out by the little milkweed plants that I had. So where most of my education came from is Google. And I Googled, what eats monarch caterpillars? And I found out that ants and wasps are two of the biggest predators of the monarchs, because the wasps eat the little caterpillars for nutrition for themselves. And the ants bring them back for food supply also. And they actually look for milkweed leaves with holes in them, and that's how they know there's caterpillars on them to feed. So sure enough, where I had this little patch of milkweed growing in my yard, was right near a retaining wall in the driveway, where I saw a lot of ants crawling all over, and I did see wasps hanging out by them. So that's what led me to then buy the habitat. It's like one thing led to another, and I'm kind of learning as I go. But so think about that. I mean, they have all these natural predators. Then they have us coming in and, laying down pesticides everywhere to keep weeds down, because milkweed grows everywhere, besides cutting it down. And then you have habitats disappearing, with the logging industry. So they have a lot of things going against them, not to mention other animals that eat the butterflies and eat, caterpillars. So.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they do have a lot working against them, huh? You know why? Yeah. Do you know why? You mentioned that they're pollinators. Do you know exactly why monarchs are important to just our ecological system and keeping it alive?
Yeah. Well, because just as bees are, the bees are disappearing too. And we really need these little guys to go plant to plant to cross pollinate, or we're not going to have any crops eventually. So, yeah. And it's all over the country. We need them to cross pollinate, like with the flowers. One example was like I grew certain crops need pollination to grow. One of the things I found out growing zucchini, there's like male flowers and female flowers. And if you don't have bees and butterflies bringing the pollen from the male flowers to the female flowers, you're not going to get any zucchinis. So there's a lot of other, species of plants and things that really rely on the pollinators to go plant to plant to plant to do what they have to do so they can bloom and we could get food.
That's actually a new learning for me. I guess I always knew that bees pollinated and mated the male and female plants together, but I never knew that about monarchs. Is that all butterflies? Do you know?
It's all butterflies. It's bats. Bats are really important too. So we really have to protect the pollinators,